Hello, YouTube family. Greg D, aka the DCUO Gingerbread Man, back here with another video. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to update the videos, or start to update the videos, I should say, from last year for all of those who have decided to come back to the game or thinking about coming back to the game. And maybe it's been 1, 2, 5, 10 years since you played the game, and you don't know where to start. You don't know how to go about things because honestly, if it's been 5 years, 10 years since you played the game, a lot of stuff has changed and you might be feeling very overwhelmed. Um, so I'm going to make these videos in order to kind of hopefully help you catch out. So this will be kind of a beginner's guide to kind of get caught back up and get acclimated to the game again, because I do get questions almost on a daily basis about talking with you guys about, again, not having played the game in many years. You don't know where to start. You're asking what the changes are. You're asking what the best powers are, what the best role is, what do I need to do, blah, blah, blah. So, again, we're going to make this video kind of like a brief overview and try to touch as many subjects as I can. If this video does well, then I will maybe make more videos and almost do like a series and kind of touch base on certain subjects more in depth in other videos. But for now, I just kind of want to do everything, touch a little bit of everything. Before we do that, though, if you guys could do me a huge solid favor, I am trying to hit 7,500 subscribers by the end of the year, and I'm super close. Making this video as of the beginning of December 2025. So I have a few weeks left. I want to try to hit 7,500, but I need your help to do that. So subscribe if you're new, hit the thumbs up button. It only takes you a few seconds to help your boy out here. So it would be greatly appreciated by me. And you can join a positive community here in the DCUO space. Um, so currently we are sitting in the House of Legends. So the Watchtower and the Hall of Doom are still a thing. Yes, but everything that you can find within the Hall of Doom, within the Watchtower, you can find here in the House of Legends. They updated this as of episode, I believe this was episode 41, that they added the House of Legends so that you could find everything in one space. When you uh, warp here, this is where you'll be. This is like the main area here. So basically, you'll have all of your seasonal vendors here on the right and on the left, depending on whether you're a hero or a villain. And then you'll come into this main room here. Like, let's say, for example, you just hit level 30. And you're wondering where to go. You'll come into this main room. Every time that you hit a new tier, this little kiosk here will pop up with new missions. And those new missions will be seen in your journal. So take a look here for a second, because if it's been a long time since you played, you'll notice that the user interface is way different um, than before. They've also added a ton of new styles to the game. There's a ton of new feats. It is much easier to level up, I will say. If you're making a brand new character, it is much easier to level up now than it used to be. Sometimes it can still be difficult to find a decent group, a pickup group. There are plenty of active leagues out there. So if you need help, um, enter yourself in a looking for group chat. Try to find an active league. They're there. They're out there. There are people that will help you, including myself. So don't feel like you have to do it all by yourself. But if you are someone who does like to do things by yourself, then I'm not necessarily saying that that's a bad thing either. Um, but anyway, so you come to this kiosk here, you'll go over to your journal, and then all of the missions, whether they're tier 1, tier 2, whatever, will pop up in here. As you can see, I still have a bunch that I need to kind of get rid of here. Um, Also, you'll notice, and you might be asking, what tier am I? So you go into the On Duty tab. This is where you're going to find all your instances. This is where you're going to find your solos, your duos, your alerts, and your raids. And if you go down here to custom play, Now, you'll notice here that they do have the latest episode playlist. So this is basically like solos, duos, lords, and raids from the last several like newest DLCs. Um, this is the current DLC as of the making of this video, Raging Night. Fearful Day was the one before that, and then Day of Reckoning was the one before that. So the last 3 episodes, basically. You have your stabilizer fragmentation here, which is your way of collecting stabilizers. Stabilizers are what you need in order to open up time capsules. Time capsules are these bad boys. So time capsules, you open them up with stabilizers. It takes 1 stabilizer to open up 1 time capsule. And then, as you can see there, you have the opportunity to gain a whole bunch of stuff, whether that be styles, collections, emblems. You have catalysts in order to level up your artifacts, which artifacts are a big thing now. As far as making your character stronger, artifacts and allies are going to be your best bang for the buck. The max artifact at this point right now is level 200, and then you can choose artifacts depending on what you want to do. So whether you want to be a precision-based DPS, a might-based DPS, tank, troll, healer, there's artifacts for everything depending on what you want to do. Then obviously you can also mix and match if you want to be a hybrid DPS, which is personally my favorite. It's not as strong as maybe going full precision or full might, but it's the way that I personally have the most fun. And then you can also mix and match if you want to, let's say, be like a battle tank, a battle troll, or a battle healer. I personally have a battle heal set up because I'm currently playing with electric. Super fun. And I can solo most open world bosses for the most part. So you have your artifacts. And again, if you want to know, if you want to research more about the artifacts, come over here to Constantine. Now, some artifacts you do have to collect by playing certain missions within the open world once you hit those particular tiers. But you'll notice here, so you have your catalysts. These are the catalysts that you need in order to level up your artifacts, right? And then you can come down here, and there's literally a whole list of artifacts here. And again, there's DPS, there's tank, there's troll, there's healers, there's all kinds of stuff. So it just depends on what you want. Now, in order to level those up, you need what's called nth metals. Nth metals are these bad boys. You'll collect those. You don't have to do anything special. You just collect them by playing content within the game. Now, I will tell you that to go from a level 0 to a level 200 artifact, it does take a while. It is a grind. So, to get from 0 to 160, and I've tested this, 0 to 160 will take you 750,000 artifact XP. To go from 160 to 200 will take you 1 million. The amount of catalysts that you need in order to go from 0 to 120, you will need 56 Dionysium, 46 quantum field energies, 36 paradox energies. You can find these on the broker. You can use your source marks to level those up if you want. So it just depends, and it's up to you. What I wanted to show you as well is your on-duty tab. So if you're confused about what tier you currently are, if you come into the custom play, and it shows you right here. So once you hit level 30, you are a tier 1. So you can do all of the old stuff. This is all the old content from like way back when the game first, became a thing. Then once you hit level 6 or combat rating 60, I don't mean level, combat rating 60, you'll unlock another section. Once you hit 100, another section. Now you increase your combat rating by playing the game, whether that be open world stuff, daily missions, weekly bounties, all that stuff. Getting gear. Getting gear is what's going to raise your combat rating. Currently, as of the making of this video, the top end combat rating is 504. But that is, you literally have all the elite gear from the current DLC. Now, again, it is a lot easier to level up from like level 1 to combat rating 500. But it is still a grind, don't get me wrong. You can get through the story mode pretty quickly now compared to how you used to be able to. So that is something um, that should be mentioned as well. One thing I will say, if you're having trouble, like you're stuck and you're, trying to, I'm tier 1 and I'm trying to get to tier 2 and I can't seem to get new gear at all. You can come over here to Tempest Fuginaut and he will sell you different tiers of gear. So you'll notice right here. So you've got all level 55, that'll get you to tier 2. You'll get 90, that'll get you to tier 3. This will get you to tier 4. This will get you to tier 5. This will get you to tier 6, and then tier 7. So, and as you can see here, the source marks are pretty cheap. Also, should mention that if you haven't played in a lot of time, there used to be like a ton of different currencies for things. Now, everything is just source marks, for the most part. You will have currency from the newest couple of DLCs that are specific to buying like the gears and the emblems from like the most recent DLC. So as of making this video, it's Mogo Acorns. I call them Mogo Nuts for the gear and like the augments from the current DLC. Mogo Berries is the previous DLC. But the nice thing about that is if you wait long enough and if you're having trouble, eventually these will switch over to source marks. So, for example, at this point, if you get to Day of Reckoning, which is 2 DLCs ago, instead of using the currency, which was Casnia crowns at that particular time, now it's all source marks. So that's something to think about as well. Bases are still the same. Generator mods you'll still get. Obviously, you want to try to have the best generator mods that you can. In the new DLC, you will be able to get augments, better augments. The augments are in your, if you go into your inventory and you scroll over, here's all your stats, here's all the stuff in your inventory. I do recommend that you get at least the membership. If you do nothing else in the game as far as like spending money, get yourself the membership at least. That way, you can have the extra inventory slots, you can have the extra shared inventory slots, and you will also get the daily rewards. I've had people ask me about the vault. The vault is no longer a thing, unfortunately. So what they've done is they've replaced it with daily rewards. So every day that you log in, you get a certain amount of rewards. So, for example, this day it was compound omegas, which are, soda buffs, basically. You'll get nth metals, which again are for your artifacts. In this case, you get exobytes, which are for your augments. Obviously, the augments can help you a big way too. So you have your augments here, which are your normal ones, your origin augments. These ones you'll get from whatever, every new DLC will come out with a new adaptive augment. You spend the current currency of that DLC, you buy them, depending on what you want. Whether you want might, precision, restoration if you're a healer, God, I'm brain fart. Vitalization if you're a troll, and then your domination if you're a tank. Thank you. Yes, I'm having a brain fart. Sorry. So there's that. So your allies are another way that is something that's completely different. They've just actually released Ally Legion tokens. They have Wolfpack tokens for the artifacts. Basically, that's just a way of, if you have particular artifacts maxed out that you want to share with other characters on your account, you can. Ally Legion token, they literally just dropped yesterday of the making of this video, and it's the same thing. If you have a particular really, baseline good ally that you want to share with all of your characters, you can share it. Same thing with the artifacts here. There are allies for different roles. So, you have your tank allies, you have your troll, you've got your healer ones. And you'll notice here that you have your combat ones. So these people you will call, they'll help you. It's almost like an extra pet, like for your damage, your DPSing there. Your support allies can be anything. Like, so for example, Batman Who Laughs will give you random, precision, crit chance, health buffs. Flash will help you with your supercharge if you want. If you want a pet DPS, Satana is a good one. Batman will help you find investigations and briefings in support mode. Cyborg will help you with your power regen. Some of the better combat allies currently within the game are like Constantine for the buffs. General Zod is a good AoE one. Superboy is a good AoE one. Uh, Aquaman is good in the support range for your pets. Uh, Static helps you if you're electric, no matter what, whether it's combat or support. So what you'll do there is, and if you notice, if you are level 30, once you hit, I can't remember what the level is. I want to say it's 20. You'll come over here to Cyborg. You'll do the mission. You'll get your first uh, ally, and then you can kind of mix and match. The nice thing about this now, though, is that there is a range of builds that you can play, no matter what you want to do within the game. Whether you want to be a pet DPS, whether you want to be straight might, whether you want to be straight precision, whether you want to be a hybrid, whether you want to be just a full tank, a full troll, a full heal. There's something for everybody. And you will see a variety of builds. Currently, might DPSing is still the meta, the OP. If you're just focusing on DPS, and if you're going to ask, because I know I'll get the question, what's the best power or what's the? I can go more into detail about that, but I will say, a good general base is you can make any power good with the right setup, with the right build, with the right skill set. Um, However, some do perform better than others if you're going to compare, two players of the same artifacts, the same allies, the same skill set, same loadout. Some powers will do better. You know what I mean? So your rage, your gadgets, your electric, for example, munitions will be good. So just take that, with a grain of salt. I'm not saying that, everything that I do is OP or meta. I always say that. So just be mindful of that too. Um, so you got your artifacts over with Constantine. You've got your allies over here with Cyborg. You'll notice Steve Trevor over here as well. If you come into your on duty tab, you will have omnibus stuff. You have solos, duos, alerts, raids. Basically, what that is it'll queue you up for, like, for example, if you do the raids, it'll queue you up for all the raids. If you don't have a particular one that you want to play necessarily, it'll queue you up for all the raids. And then whatever just randomly pops up, that's just the one you'll go into. So it might be a tier 2 raid, it might be a tier 5 raid, it might be a tier 7 raid. You don't know. It just literally will pop up. One thing I will say, though, why it's good to do that, those omnibuses, is every week you'll notice in your journal you get an extra reward for completing an omnibus raid. So you have to complete one omnibus raid, and once you do that, you'll go back to Steve Trevor. He'll give you a reward cache, which is usually like a collection piece, a piece of gear, might be a catalyst or two, depending on what it is. But you'll also get 15 extra source marks. So that's not bad, right? You have to do one, you have to do one alert, one raid. So for the alert, you get 10 source marks, another reward cache. The solos and the duos, because those don't take as long, get to do 3 every week. And again, sometimes that can be the difference of, having source marks to buy catalysts for your artifacts, buying a piece of gear if you need to. One thing I will say too is skill points, they do still matter. So they do matter. Artifacts and allies are going to be the better bang for the buck. So if you're someone who has low skill points, but you have really high artifacts, you're still going to do pretty good. But I would recommend still getting skill points because they're going to make a difference, especially in your support roles. The more skill points you have, the better, especially if you are trying to tank, troll, heal. That's just how the game is. It's just how it is. That's really all I could say about that. But again, every 99% of the time, everything that you're going to need is literally right here in the House of Legends. Yes, you can still go to the Watchtower. Yes, you can still go to the Hall of Doom, but everything you need is right here. I should mention this as well, that you have a teleporter here to literally go to wherever you want to go, whatever open world you want to go. So if you're tier 1, come down here and you see your tier 1, your tier 2, you've got your tier 3, tier 4, you've got your tier 5, tier 6. The newest DLC open world will always be on the top, no matter what it is. So there's that. I get this question a lot too. How do I get a lot of source marks easily? Run through your weekly open world bounties. That is the quickest way. If you run all of the weekly bounties, and there will be groups. You'll notice in the looking for group chat, there are groups every Tuesday, because every Tuesday, everything resets. Like all of the content will reset. Because obviously, if it's a weekly bounty, you can only do it once a week, unless you have replay badges. Replay badges will help you reset that stuff if you want to keep spamming things, right? So, but if you go through tier 5, tier 6, tier 7, do all of the open world bounties. So I'll just pick one randomly here, just to show you. You can gain 400 source marks a week just by playing the open world bounties from tier 5, tier 6, tier 7, which is a good bit. So all you do in this case would be like, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to like I would hit this, I'd hit this right here, and then boom, see it, weekly bounty. Boom. There it is, right? So now I might just do this just because I'm here. But so again, anytime you do one of these things, you are going to essentially earn yourself a loot cache. Earn yourself a loot cache, which is a very good thing. Let's get Star here done.
Now you're just making me angry.
We'll get Star here done. He's almost done, so might as well do it while we're here, right? Why not? Obviously, this is one that I haven't necessarily done yet, so I'm going to do it. So you have your artifacts, you have your allies, you've got your skill points. You'll notice too, and we'll show this here in a second as soon as that's done. So that's done. I got my reward. So if it's been a while, you'll also notice too that your skill trees are definitely different. So you'll have your electricity. This will tell you what power you earn based on what level you are. Your stat points. This whole thing is totally different here. So, for example, if you're a might-based DPS, you got superpower. If you're a hybrid, you got your hybrid. If you got your precision, you would want to go weapons expert. Then you have these, depending on which role. You have your critical attack chance, critical attack damage. If you want a DPS, you have your healing. If you want to heal, you have your power. If you want to control, you have your dominance here for your tank. You have your health for a tank, your restoration for your healer, your vitalization for your controller, your precision, your might. So, first thing is first, whenever you are low skill points, you always want to make sure, depending on what role you are, get these maxed out first. Then you can worry about all this stuff down here, depending on what you want to do. And I should also mention, too, if you're unaware, the way that you get skill points is you have feats. And you'll notice stars by each one of these feats. So, it takes 100 feat points to earn one skill point. Every time you see a 1 star by a feat, that's a 10-point feat. 2 stars is 25 points. 3 stars is 50 points. You will notice that some have 4 stars, so those feats are worth 1 skill point apiece. So, and as you can see, as of the making of this video, I am currently sitting on 542. So I would recommend you. Again, you don't have to listen to me for sure, but I would recommend that if you really want to do well, you want to run a lot of like the elite content, you want to challenge yourself, probably a good idea to at least have, 400 or 500 skill points. If you're just more of a casual player, you don't want to like farm feats, then you don't need as many. But however, just remember that you're going the more skill points you have, the stronger your character will be. All right. And then the last thing I think I'm going to mention in this video, because I know I've been rambling here for the last 25 minutes. The nice thing about the current developers is they're always giving us little mini, what they call events. So we have content to run in between the DLCs now. So if you come into your user interface here, you go over to the events tab, there will be all of these different events that they're going to run. A lot of times they'll have mini ones, which are weekly. They'll have ultimate recruitment ones to create a new character. But you'll notice every single event will have rewards with it. So, for example, currently this is the seasonal event. So what they're doing, if you complete the event, which here you'll notice, you have to play one of these things, either the open world daily or the alert, one time a day. Now, you can buy these out, but you play them one time a day. Once you're done and you hit 20 on this counter, you'll get BOGO Acorns, which is the current currency for the DLC. You're going to get a skill point token, which will give you 1 skill point, and they're giving us a Mr. Freeze ally, which is the brand new ally as of the making of this video. Again, you can buy these out if you so choose. These 20-day events, as you can see, it's $40. You can decide whether you want to spend the money and buy them out and get the rewards right away, or if you want to wait, save your money, and play through it. That's up to you at the end of the day. I usually don't, but sometimes I get impatient and I will, buy them just for, content or whatever. But you can reclaim, the nice thing too is you can reclaim a lot of these rewards for your other characters. So if you go through here, you can reclaim, certain new iconic abilities that they've been adding over the last year, certain allies that they've been giving us, certain, style caches, emblems, henchmen, lots of henchmen. Again, certain styles, certain emblems. They've been adding a ton of iconic abilities. So there is a lot of stuff once you get past level 30. There's a lot of content to basically keep you busy to get the rewards. They have added a ton of iconic abilities into the game as well. I don't have them all myself. But for example, since the beginning of this year, they have added in Shadow Curse. They've added in Spore Pod. They have added in a pet supercharged, Brine Hulk. They've added in Magma Vortex, which is the newest one as I'm making this video. Scarecrow's Fear Bomb, Nemesis Lasso, Starbolt. They all do different things. So again, depending on what you want to do with your character, you can kind of decide which ones you want, which ones you don't want, at the end of the day. A lot of these, I will say, when they come out, are very OP or meta, or however you want to describe them. So that's just something. If you miss the event, you do have some time to buy them within the marketplace, if you so choose. But there's only more often than not, there's maybe a month, 6 weeks tops after the event is over that you can buy them within the marketplace. So unfortunately, if you miss an event, if you miss some time away, if you take some time off, you might miss them. And I know that there's a lot of fear of missing out there. There's a lot of FOMO. I get asked all the time, for example, what do I use instead of Spore Pod? Or what do I use instead of this? You can mix and match. It doesn't matter. I mean, yes, it's more ideal if you are trying to be OP and meta that you have these things, but you don't necessarily need them if you don't want them. You know what I mean? So don't get caught up in that. Still try to have fun. I know this video is long. I know this video, I've been rambling a lot, but I wanted to try to give you a brief overview on a lot of different things. Again, If you would like to see a video updating something more specific, um, please let me know in the comments section below, and I can make a more detailed video about that, whether that's um, pets or like a more in-depth deep dive on the artifacts or the allies, or how to get source marks, how to farm your nth metals, how to farm whatever. Um, but I think I'm going to conclude this video right here because, again, I've been rambling for the last 28 minutes or so. So thank you guys so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more. The better this video does, the more that will let me know that you guys want to see more of these kind of beginner guide tutorial videos. So thank you guys again, and until next time, we'll see you soon.